And it's another question for you, Stacy. Does the Romans 6 old man represent what we repent of to join Christ's death? Does our flesh represent the old covenant? If so, are we only repenting of unbelief today?
Yeah, we're only repenting of unbelief because the judgment of the law is taken away. There's no law judgment anymore.
Thank
So
you, Steve.
I agree with that statement.
Okay, appreciate it. Tristan, anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, the full preterists, they want to state that the wrestling of the flesh and the spirit has nothing to do with your psychology, your neurological properties, or your nervous system. That the sin nature has nothing to do with that, that it's some sort of covenant resurrection. This gentleman, Eastgate Adoptionist, has been pressing Don Preston with this, and many former full preterists have given credence to this critique. The Romans 6 old man, they want to say that represented the old covenant Israel. Well, then if it was old covenant Israel, what about the majority of humanity that are not Israelites? This is why Israel only comes in and states, which my opponent Stacy has already stated, that Israel only has at least one strong verse, Romans 9 through 11, that then it's about the biological descendants of Abraham. That is what it's all about. So how does the majority of humanity, Gentiles, relate to this? If you're making Romans 6 about Israel and the Mosaic law, which was only given to Israel, it wasn't given to the Chinese, it wasn't given to Native Americans, it wasn't given to anybody else other than Israel, well, then how in the world does that apply to people outside of Israel, the covenant? And so this is why it's very problematic. So does our flesh represent the old covenant? That's what full preterists state. And the full preterist William Bell have also stated that the change in immortality, that represented the old covenant system. The change in immortality was the change of the stopping of the priesthood, the end of animal sacrifice. So when you're reading the change in immortality in the twinkling of an eye, when you're reading Romans 6, what are you thinking of? Oh, it's the end of the animal sacrifice. That's what the mental image is. Meeting Christ in the air, what is that? It's the end of animal sacrifice. That's the mental image. And I'm telling you that nobody has ever thought of that until Max King, and Dr. Ken Hovind has pressed Stacy on this in his debate, that somebody had to have told him that. And at the end of the day, it's just absolutely untenable. Nobody is going to read that and think, well, the Romans 6 old man is Israel's covenant, and it's the ending of animal sacrifice. And the only thing that we're repenting of today is unbelief. So then when you're changed in mortality, what's the difference of the intellectual virtues? What's the difference of your sin nature? Nothing. This is why I pressed my opponent. What happened after 70 AD? Nothing. They were still the same. Same spirit-filled people before 70 AD. And when the last woman cooked their kid and the Roman soldiers were praising that they got victory for Jupiter and Zeus, same, nothing changed with the Christians. They're still the same old thing. And they didn't have any gifts of the Spirit. They were a less powerful, less virtuous Christian after 70 AD. No gifts of the Spirit, all ceased.
Thank you, Tristan. Stacy, would you like a last word on that question?
No, not really. I mean, Romans 6 is during the old covenant still, where they were. So, Paul's explaining it to them, what salvation was. But no, I've already answered it.